Hello, friends. This is Devastating Dave, the turntable slave, also executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, you guessed it, the worst record albums ever. Or let's put it this way, part one of the worst record albums ever. Because, sometimes we just need to laugh a little bit, don't we? Or cringe. I mean, we're going to do a little bit of both. And I'm not limiting myself to the classical music industry here. These are wonderful things that have accumulated in my own and my friends who are in the music business, their archives of just appalling, abominable record albums. And, I really think that it's good to see a mixture of media, because while the classical music industry is known for its unconscious ridiculousness owing to its sanctimoniousness and seriousness, there are quite a few other corners of the music industry which treat themselves with an equal amount of humorless sanctimony. And we're going to look at a few of them. I think it's a lot of fun. In fact, let me start by giving you an example. I have about 9 of them here all mixed up. And these are just amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I think you'll have a great time with them. This is one of my favorites, because if there's one part of the music industry that can be guaranteed to be even more humorless and irony-free than the classical music industry, it's the Christian music industry, the religious industry. Have a look at this baby. Isn't it amazing? I mean, think about it. Look at this. I just think this is incredible. Satan is real with the Louvin brothers or Lovin brothers. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that just exactly what you'd want to get when you are out shopping for some music for your moral uplift? Satan is real. And I think this should say back there, part 1 or something like that. Does that mean you get part 2? Satan is really real? I have no idea, but that's definitely an album I would love to hear. I particularly like the artwork. I mean, the artwork is absolutely fabulous. It's sort of a cross between National Geographic, filming, the eruption of a volcano in, Kilauea in Hawaii, and Fantasia. And it's just marvelous, absolutely marvelous. I think that's a treasure, absolutely a treasure. Now, one of the albums that I found years and years ago that I could not pass up, it's not that the cover is so bad, it's that the album title is so unbelievable. And here it is. It's on the Cladag label, which I'm sure I pronounced incorrectly. They specialize in ethnic Irish music, I think. Is it Irish? Yeah, I think it's Irish music. And, mostly it's folk music. That's what they tend to do. Every so often they've dipped their toes into classical music. They did the first recording, for example, of the John Field piano concertos, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to this. Yes, that is what it's called. Derek Bell plays with himself. And look at all the things, look at all of the tools he's using to play with himself. Kinky guy, huh? That was unbelievable. There were also some other recordings coming from, this general area that were sponsored by this insurance company called General Accident. In fact, I think a few Chandos recordings were sponsored by them. And I just used to love getting recordings where I'd see Sir Alexander Gibson plays Mahler, sponsored by General Accident. That was pretty good too. But nothing compares with Derek Bell plays with himself. Now, here is possibly the most cringeworthy. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. You look at it and you just want to die. You really do. It's horrifying. Here you go. Oh, I mean, what else is there to be said? The Handless Organist. Truly a miracle of God. See photo. Wow. Words fail me. I think we'll just have a moment of silence to contemplate this thing, shall we? You get the picture. I'm taking it down now before, we all get queasy. It's just appalling. Appalling. Now, one of the more amusing, I think, branches of the classical music business is opera, because opera has to have pictures of opera singers, quite often in costume. And as you may know, opera singers are not always the most photogenic of theatrical types. We're not talking Hollywood starlets here. We're not talking about MGM films where you could have, Audrey Hepburn doing Eliza Doolittle while Marnie Dixon handled all the vocals. Marnie Nixon, who had a wonderful voice, by the way. Or Marilyn Horne as Carmen Jones. You can get away with that. But with opera albums, you actually want to hear the voice of the singer, and sometimes you want to hear the picture. Sometimes I wish they would have used a model. My all-time favorite is this special, magnificent cover. I think this is tremendous. There you go. Birgit Nilsson does Salome, and that is her fantastic impersonation of a 15-year-old Middle Eastern nymphomaniac psychopath. And isn't that effective? It's wonderful. Birgit Nilsson had a very good sense of humor, and I suspect that she took a look at this thing and absolutely just cracked up like crazy. It's so over the top and so funny. But my God, my sister, when she was a little kid, my sister was terrified of that record. All I had to do when she came into my room, if I didn't want to be bothered, was haul out the Birgit Nilsson Salome and say, "Look at this!" She would run away screaming. And, I can't really blame her. I can't blame her at all. However, I think this next one is a trifecta. And some of you have already mentioned it, because we've talked about these things briefly. The most awful opera covers ever were the 3 recordings of Wagner orchestral music derived from his operas, those big extended suites, conducted by Edo de Wart. They were on RCA, and you just have to see all 3 of them. Let's start with Parsifal. There you go. Look at the bird has got this arrow stuck in it, and holy crap, it's beyond evil, isn't it? It's terrible. It may also be racist. Who knows? It's got everything going for it. And look at the thing's feet. I don't know if it's real or not, but that's Parsifal. And wasn't the Swan in Lohengrin? Haven't they got their swan operas kind of mixed up? I think they do, but that's me. So that was Parsifal. Next, we do The Ring. Now, of course, The Ring has Valkyries running around, which, of course, is always an opportunity for amusement, because you've got, the winged helmet, and as Anna Russell said, the brass bra, and the horse and the spear thing, and all that hoya-to-hoing. Well, they've updated that a little bit with this crew. Oh my goodness, yes. Those are, I don't know if those are the Valkyries or the Norns. It looks like actually those are probably the Norns, because there are only 3 of those, right? There's more Valkyries. Probably those are supposed to be Norns, because they have this long braided rope thing that they're making from their hair, which is supposed to determine the destiny of the world, or I don't know. Who knows what that is? But yes, that's devastatingly attractive, isn't it? I like the goggles particularly. The World War I flight goggles. They add a certain je ne sais quoi to the entire thing. But the best is Tristan and Isolde. This is the one that really got everyone going. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the reason these performances are no longer available is because of the covers. And especially this one. This is the one that just blew me away. Tristan and Isolde. Oh, yes. Tristan is of course the name of the puppy, and Isolde is that, sort of fly with horns and an obese woman's body with mud spattered or love. Oh, those are hearts, aren't they? But they're also like paw prints, and it says just everything you've always wanted to know about that opera. And it's subtitled An Orchestral Passion. Well, if that photo doesn't stir your passion, then it's hopeless. I don't know what will. I really don't. That was one special series, let me tell you. I actually bought it because of the album covers. I mean, but that's me, right? I would buy albums that had horrible covers just because the covers were horrible. I wouldn't even listen to them. I would just keep the covers, throw away the record, And one of the sad things about compact discs, I think you'll have to admit, is that everything is tiny. It's all miniaturized. We don't get the fun of these covers anymore. Even the horrible ones were fun, right? I mean, do you remember the Westminster recordings, the Herman Scherchen recordings, like Haydn's Surprise Symphony? It was a cuckoo clock. And if you looked really carefully, the cuckoo clock door was open. And instead of a cuckoo, there was a naked woman who had just gotten out of the shower and she had a towel wrapped around her. And she was going like, ah, like that. It was fabulous. It was hilarious. You could only tell if you looked really carefully. I found that online and I wanted to show it to you, but the problem is that I couldn't get a picture with enough clarity that you could actually see, the tiny little woman in the clock. And so it was such a great series. All of those covers were humorous. And that was a clever series because they really did humor, and they were funny and it was good. It was really good. They had the Anna Maria Alberghetti song recital that was this giant plate of spaghetti with this huge meatball in the middle. I mean, it was fantastic. But anyway, that is a selection of horrifying, for various reasons, album covers. And there will be more to come, I guarantee you. But I hope that this has lightened your load and brightened your day and helped you to realize that no matter what happens, it could always be worse. So keep on listening, folks. Thank you and take care.